Well, you talked early in the week about looking forward to some guys who were maybe on the roster bubble, some backups are really stepping up, and it looks like today, especially at like cornerback, guys stepping up at wide receiver, some of those guys stepped up. Just how much did you like that, and how much will that make decisions you and Brad have in the next few days maybe a little bit harder?
Yeah, in some regards it makes it clearer, and in other regards it makes it very cloudy, and that's a good problem to have. But man, it was good to see. Everything we had talked about with the DBs and the receivers. But once again, I mean, look, Dorsey. It was a heck of a kickoff return. It was a big turnover he created, takeaway that we had right before halftime that he was responsible for, good in coverage. And then Gilly comes up with another one, man. It was big. And then you got Lucas right before halftime. So I thought those guys played their hearts out. They really stepped up, made plays for us. I thought Starling did some good things again. And then the receiver position, what was most encouraging was, man, those contested catches we weren't coming down with, or defenders around were getting these drops. This week, boy, we made plays. I thought Drummond made some critical catches, and I thought Green really showed up. And that catch he had where he ran through the dagger for the touchdown, that was big, and that was a hell of a throw by Teddy. But it was good to see. It was encouraging. That's what we needed to see.
How about Teddy's game too? It just looked like having another week. He just seemed to settle in, be more on time with some of those early plays.
Yeah, I would say I'm not surprised by that. He'll only get better the more that he's able to be around our system, and so it was good to see. He was in a good spot. He was in a flow. He had great command of the offense. And so it's just, there again, time on task under our system, and it was good to see. I thought he made some big throws today.
And just overall, the job you have in front of you now, getting this thing down to 53 players, and these guys made it tough for you to do that.
Yeah, it's tough, and here we are in year 3 of what Brad and I have done, and so, it's getting that much harder. I mean, we're going to have to let go of some really good players, and that's tough. That's tough to do. But it also means that there's growth and the talent level has gone up, and that's a good thing for your football team. As long as it's the right guys you're keeping, we feel pretty good about everybody on this team that's in this crop. So, but it's always tough this time of year, and that's what I told those guys in there. I just told them thank you, I appreciate them. I thought they played their hearts out, and if they need me for anything, they can always come up and see me or give me a call.
What is the process here in the next couple of days?
Yeah, Brad and I will sit down tomorrow, probably mid-afternoon, and we'll start really banging away on it and then begin to figure out exactly what we want to do. We may, I don't see this being one big cut. I think, we're going to need to kind of disperse it a little bit. But I think tomorrow we're going to have a real good feel of where we're or at least, 99% of the roster.
And a couple of guys go out, anything serious there, maybe Nate, maybe a little more?
I don't know. I don't really know. I would say, Nate, it could be a little bit. That one I don't know entirely. But if you were saying, who I thought may have more of a significant injury than the others, I think his could be. But we'll know more tomorrow.
It's tough to see him. Did he just give out? Or?
I couldn't see it. I think it was a hyperextension. I couldn't see what happened. I mean, it was just, it was a keeper, and he ended up over there on the sideline. I didn't know what happened.
Patterson with the missed field goal, missed extra point. Is that a concern at all?
No, I mean, look, he's been really consistent in training camp. He's been. I feel like he's been pretty steady and reliable, and I think he just kind of had a rough one today. That's what I'm chalking it up to, because he's really been on it. I feel like for this training camp.
You feel pretty good about that position. You feel pretty good about kicking where you're at kicking.
Yeah. I'm not gonna worry about kicker right now.
Coach, you just drill down to the chase play for a minute. It seemed like that kind of turned the game. They're getting going ahead, look like a header.
Yeah, it definitely did. It was one of the things, I know AJ and them get tired of me, but I'm on the headset yelling takeaways nonstop. It was, you're in one of these dog fights, we're going back and forth, and you just, if you can get one, it can change the game. And sure enough, man, that was a heck of a play by Lukey, and it did. It really flipped the tide. It was, you could argue that was a 13-point swing, between that and the other turnover that we got. So to be able to score 10 points, with about 50 seconds left at the end of the half, man, that's huge. It gives you some momentum going into halftime. But I did feel like, man, that kind of changed the game for us. It was big.
What about those backups on the offensive line, too? Looks like they played
Much better.
consistent this week.
Much better. I think the most what really showed up to me was what we struggled in stunts and games last week. We got hit on a bunch of those, the ETs, TEs, you're getting hit. And, man, I thought we handled that stuff so much better this week. We were able to snap them off. We got in position, moved our feet, worked together. And that's a sign of growth and improvement.
One other, I don't even know if it's okay, but Craig Reynolds, just the way that he ran,
Yeah.
it seemed like even when there was just a little bit of a
Yeah.
way through it, it's more easy.
Craig is not changed one bit. He's just steady, and he just handles his business, and he knows what he's doing. We have a lot of trust in him, and he's a reliable player. He's a reliable player.
Preseason's over. Do you like where your team is heading into the regular season? How do you feel about just kind of what you guys accomplished the last 6 weeks?
Yeah, I feel good with where we're at. I mean, I feel like everything there again that I felt we needed to get done, we got done. There's one more thing that I want to do, and we'll get it done Monday, and that'll finish it off for us. And I feel good. And then at that point, it's about getting ready for KC.
What's that you want to accomplish still?
That'll be between us and the players.